What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Ethereum today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 10th day of October, and man, October is not happening, is it? What a rip. I want a refund. No, you guys, this is exactly how October was last year, actually. If we go back, we look at this here. Let's see. October, started out here. We actually started off the beginning days to the downside, right? It wasn't until about the 12th that we started to pump. To be fair, for Ethereum, October wasn't really a thing. For Bitcoin, it was, but the first half was a little bit bearish. So the fact that we're dumping down here, I'm not really too concerned with that, right? The 1st of October was even here. So really on a monthly aspect, we're just neutral. We're neutral. We have a fresh red month with today's price action, but we're neutral overall. I think we're at a good area to find support. You can see it here in the monthly chart that we found resistance here and here for a year and a half. We found resistance there, found resistance in this back area. We're finding support here now. We're just consolidating. That's all. It's the same stuff, same as always, right? I'm assuming there's some people who are, for lack of a better word, getting shaken out. They're losing their asses on this, and not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but man, nobody better be panic selling. If you're watching this video, if you are a C-Zar Gets Crypto community member, you better not be selling. You guys are fortified. You're aware that this is just a psyop. This is just a game that the big dogs play. The whales dump on you to trigger emotional status, and then they play off of that. They buy into it, right? This is to shake out the weak hands, the people who thought we're going to new all-time highs. I'm going to sell the house and buy it here, put it on 100x leverage, and now they're wrecked, right? This is for those people. Ethereum did have a lot of long positions open. I actually want to refresh this and see here with Bitcoin. Man, those longs are just gone. What about on the 30-day? We still got a lot of longs open. A lot of shorts have piled on, you guys. Wow, we've piled on like $3 billion of shorts just in the last like few hours here with Bitcoin. That's crazy. Ethereum, we look at the 30-day. The shorts are way higher. Way higher. You guys, the shorts are at 9.5 billion. Bitcoin shorts are at 11 billion over the past 30 days. That's pretty comparable. That's crazy. The shorts outweigh the longs by a huge factor. The longs are decimated on the weekly time frame, and on the daily time frame, don't even get me started. You have more shorts than Bitcoin does, man. It's crazy. Ethereum right here is more likely at a bottoming point than it is a point to go lower. And if it goes lower, cool, do it. I dare you. Do it. From a high to a low, do it. You'll probably go down to the 236 at the lowest. That's at $4,000. I highly doubt that we go below $4,000. In fact, I would bet anybody right now that we do not see a price below $4,000 ever again for Ethereum. Never, ever again. Not until I'm dead, man. Till something's wrong with the world. Ethereum's going to go up at a much higher price here very soon. This is actually a very opportunistic moment to buy, if we're being fair. Looking at this on a 1 hour time frame, looking at it here, a lot of volume down there at the low. The RSI is in a bit of a downtrend, right? You have lower highs and lower lows. You look like you're in a bit of a bearish trend here, but you're at the lowest part in the RSI that you've seen on a 1 hour time frame really since September 25th. So in quite a while for the 1 hour. Being at the 20, that's a pretty low area in itself. I would expect we see some kind of reverberation back to the upside. Stochastics are crossing back up, looking like they want to get out of the oversold zone after just freshly getting in there. So that's a good look in itself, but overall it is bearish. And the MACD is bearish, but it doesn't matter as much because it's on the 1 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame here, again, lower lows, lower highs in the RSI. We have a downtrend here, clearly established uptrend that turned into a downtrend. Right here, lower highs, lower lows. We're in our oversold area, so this does allow for us to come up. Perhaps we come back down, we get a higher low in the RSI with a lower low in the price. So again, can we go below this low? Is this the low itself? I don't know if this is the low. Yes, we can go below this low. It's possible that it is the low. But if we were to go lower, what I would assume is, it's Friday. We have the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. We're probably going to dilly-dally. And then Saturday, we probably find our low. We get our bullish divergence that I'm talking about here. And then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, somewhere in that time frame, we start to recover. So it's probably going to be a boring lull of a weekend with a little bit of maybe anxiety for people if they get anxious that we're approaching that $4,000 level. But I fully anticipate $4,000 to hold. Stochastics look bearish on the 4 hour, and the MACD is bearish as well. So all those indicators implicating exactly what I was just saying, that we are probably going to go a little lower. What we're looking for here is that once we get lower, that there's a lack in volume. We don't want to see volume picking up. We want to see a lack in volume, okay? And again, I think a good area to find support would be the 886 here from a low to a high. The 886 is at about, or sorry, the 786 is at about $4,000. The 886 is actually at $3,900. I don't think that we go that low. We are at the golden ratio now, so again, do expect some turbulence. We probably move up to about 42.50, and then we probably come down. That'd be my expectation. 42.50, 43.50. Don't get too excited. If we do move up there, right, we still likely do go lower. If we see Ethereum above $4,500, that's how we know that this is the low. Until then, it's really open, I guess, is the proper word to use for that. Up in the air, maybe. Yeah, the MACD looks bearish. Everything suggests that we have a little bit lower to go. Right? But again, I would say a little bit. I would compare it to this, right? Big move down, you move down a little bit. This is the 4-hour time frame, so over the next like 2 days, you just kind of move sideways. This is more or less exactly what I'm expecting we do, right? Maybe to a reverse effect. Where here, you kind of do this, you like slope up like that. Maybe to a reverse effect where we slope down. I would expect that we kind of slope down like that, and then Monday, Tuesday, Sunday maybe we find our low, and that's where we bounce and rally. Bump and run there. Looking at the daily time frame, it wouldn't actually be a bump and run. I'm just saying that. Daily time frame, the stochastics are bearish, but on the bright side, typically whenever you see the stochastics reach, like notice how you're super far away here. The blue line is super far away from the orange line on that same given day. If we go here, that was on this day here. We did move up a little bit more the next day. That actually was a little bit more oomph, if we're being fair, but you were right at your point where you're actually about to come down. Same kind of idea here, and then I'm sure we could find examples of that here. Look right here, right? You're getting away from your orange line right here, and right there, that told you, hold up, we got to pull back, right? We're getting away from our orange line here. The blue line is right at the oversold zone. This would actually be a perfect area to bounce from. That would send a very powerful signal, and likely we do reverberate back because, again, you're so separated from that orange line. I would expect that we do pull back to the upside here. RSI, looking at the RSI here, rejecting the overbought zone. That's not a good look in itself. You were breaking out of your downtrend and you rejected your overbought zone instead. That's not good. We'd like to find support at the 40. Can we go below the 40 and find support? Absolutely. We could even get oversold and find support. But at this point in time, I don't think the daily RSI gets oversold. Getting oversold would likely take us below this low here, and I just don't think that we're going to do that. I'd be surprised if we got below $4,000, let alone if we got oversold. So looking for a bounce here, looking to close the day probably right around this area, or tomorrow right around this area, and then we bounce from here. The MACD is crossing red after you crossed up. I wouldn't weigh on it too much. The MACD is less reliable whenever you move sideways, right? I know we're crossing red. I know that we have a red cross right now, and that can be scary, but we've had green crosses before that meant nothing. Right, we had a green cross there that meant nothing. Right there as well. We've had red moments that meant nothing. It's. I don't think that this is a moment to really worry about or to consider. Honestly, I think that it's kind of a non-factor, especially because we're moving sideways. All in all, Ethereum, I expect will hold support in this area. We're consolidating, nothing more, nothing less. We're just consolidating here. We consolidated last time at the beginning of May. We consolidated really for about 7 weeks until we started moving up, and we broke out on the 9th week there. Right here, I would say we started consolidating after this week. It is the 8th week right now. So in that sense, one more week, we're breaking out. We're doing the same exact phase as we did last time. And that week, the week that we that led us to the breakout, we moved up 12%. On the breakout week, we were up 15% that week. So we're down 8% right now. That ain't nothing compared to what's coming. And believe me when I tell you this, guys. If anybody out there thinks that this is the all-time high for Ethereum, I've just never seen where the all-time high for Ethereum is outweighed. The longs are outweighed by the shorts this dramatically, this drastically. $10 billion in shorts, I don't think so, man. And of which half of that basically has been put on, or maybe like a third of that's been put on in the past 24 hours. Crazy. You guys, if we move lower at all, it's going to be insignificant. We're going to trap some more shorts, really see what we can pile on. And then I would expect with the fury, Ethereum is going to snap back. We're going to eat these shorts with both hands, man. It's going to be crazy. We're going to move up. Let's see, that's $3.7 billion in shorts at $4,500. And what did I tell you at the beginning? I said 4,500 is the area to watch. We get above 4,500 and we validate wherever we are as the low. 4,500 is the area to watch. Looking at the weekly time frame here. The RSI, spectacular. It's just spectacular. A little disappointing, a little bit of a bummer because we had that bounce off the 60. That's such a good look. And this week we're down, we're red. I mean, if we can come up, we're down 8.4%. Ethereum can move up that much in a day. If it moves up that much on Sunday, if we close this week neutral, that would actually be nice because then we preserve this bounce off the 60. But even if not, whatever, go down to the 50, bounce here, whatever. You've done that before. You've bounced like literally right in this area before plenty of times. Let's actually put a line right there, right where we are now, right? Resistance right there, support right there, support right there, support a little bit below, support right there, resistance right here. You know, like you've found significance at this area plenty of times in your life. So I don't care. It's fine one way or another. The stochastics are bearishly inclined right now, but notice this, right? Notice how whenever we go to the oversold zone, notice how we move, right? Notice how we move. Do you notice how we're moving here, right? Going to the oversold zone. Do you see this is a little bit more methodical, right? Same with this. This is a little bit more methodical. That's more normal. This is not how we normally look whenever we go to the oversold zone. This is how we look when we're looking to bounce off the 50 or when we're looking to just maintain kind of status in this overbought area. I think we're actually at a low point here and we're probably going to come up. I don't think this is conducive for a bearish environment on the weekly stochastics, if we're being fair. The MACD is also right at a point you'd expect it to bounce, okay? Typically, whenever you get the oscillators to touch like this, it's actually a good area to bounce in these bull markets dynamics. So we can come a little bit closer, but I would expect to get, you know, just like here, you came close to touching and then you moved up. I would expect to get the same thing here. I don't really have anything else that I want to say other than where I believe we're going to go ultimately. So let's talk about that. I'm thoroughly expecting that Ethereum sees new all-time highs by the end of this month to the tune of $7,700 or more. I'm thinking $8,000 specifically because this high to this low, our most kind of relevant pivot that we've had on a discernible high to low, the golden ratio is at $8,000. I think that's where we're going by the end of October, if not the middle of November. And then we'll consolidate going into the end of the year. We should be reaching for $10,000 and beyond. If we're not at $10,000 by the end of the year, we'll probably see it in January, consolidate a little bit more, and then push for that final attempt at, you know, anything from 14K to 26K is our end of cycle kind of target area. I'm thinking we hit 20K or more by the end of the cycle, but time will tell. Ethereum's looking fierce. Make no mistake. Do not let this little shakeout shake you out, okay? We're at a moment right now in crypto's history where you're you're gonna remember you're gonna remember it one of two ways. One, this is the moment where you stuck to your guns, you held, you bought more, and you were rewarded for it. Or two, you made the wrong choice, you sold, you freaked out, you let your emotions take control, and well, you'll remember that. That'll definitely stick with you, trust me. I've got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves, take care of your family, take care of your pets and your plants. Water your plants, damn it. You come on, they need water. George, you know who you are. I'll see you on the next one. Hit the like button, subscribe, take care. Bye.